Yet, despite its charm, the salon held a mystery that no one could explain. There were no mirrors inside. Everyone in the village knew this, and whispers about the peculiar rule often passed between curious neighbors. Some claimed it was a mere eccentricity of the salon's owner, while others believed it hinted at something far more mysterious. The owner, Seifu, was admired and respected. Tall and graceful, her presence commanded attention. Despite her beauty, it was her hands that captivated the villagers most. They said her fingers, long and slender, moved like magic, transforming even the wildest tresses into elegant masterpieces. Children whispered tales of her weaving spells into every braid and twist, and adults could not deny the allure of her craft. Customers left her salon not just looking transformed, but feeling as though a weight had been lifted from their spirits. But Sefu's rule remained firm. Not a single mirror graced the walls of her salon. Customers never saw their reflection as she worked, nor when they left. Some who dared to ask why received no answer but a soft smile. Others were met with a simple response, "You must trust my hands, not your eyes." On this particular morning, the village square hummed with life. Merchants called out their wares, and the clatter of cartwheels on cobblestone blended with the chatter of villagers exchanging greetings. Inside her salon, Seifu swept the floor in graceful arcs. The sun streamed through the wide windows, casting golden patterns across the wooden floor. As she worked, a young girl named Asha pushed open the door, her bare feet making soft taps against the floor. The girl, no older than 12, had eyes wide with both curiosity and apprehension. Her mother had insisted she come to Seifu for her first proper hairstyling before a family celebration. "Good morning, child," Seifu greeted warmly, setting down her broom. "Come in." Asha hesitated. "There are no mirrors," she blurted out. Seifu's laughter was light. "Ah, you've heard the stories, haven't you?" The girl nodded shyly, her fingers twisting nervously in the hem of her dress. "Do not worry," Seifu said, guiding Asha to a chair. "We will make something beautiful today. Trust in my hands." Despite her initial apprehension, Asha soon found herself captivated by the gentle rhythm of Seifu's work. The stylist's hands moved with confidence, weaving and twisting Asha's hair into intricate patterns. The girl closed her eyes, letting the sensation of each tug and twist lull her into calm. Outside, the bustling sounds of the market continued, but inside the salon, time seemed to slow. The absence of mirrors forced customers to rely on senses beyond sight. The feel of Seifu's hands, the hum of her soft humming, the faint scent of jasmine oil she used to smooth flyaway strands. As Seifu finished the final twist, she stepped back and admired her work. "There," she said softly. "You are radiant, Asha." The girl touched her hair tentatively, fingers tracing the elegant braids that wove across her scalp. Though she could not see her reflection, something deep within whispered that Seifu's words were true. "Thank you," Asha murmured, a shy smile tugging at her lips. "Remember," Seifu said, "true beauty is not what the eyes can see, but what the heart can feel." As Asha left the salon, the sun warming her face, she felt lighter, as if Seifu's words had braided themselves into her being. But what no one in the village knew was that the absence of mirrors was not just a quirk, it was a protection. For Seifu harbored a secret, one that even she sometimes wished to forget. And soon, the village would learn why mirrors had no place in her hair salon. Long before Seifu opened her salon in the quiet village, she had lived in the bustling city of Umand. Life there was filled with the clamor of voices, the rattle of market stalls, and the gleaming shine of countless mirrors reflecting the faces of hurried passers-by. Seifu had been just a girl then, living with her grandmother, a revered healer and keeper of ancient knowledge. Her grandmother often spoke of the power within mirrors, warning Seifu that reflections could capture more than just appearances. "A mirror," her grandmother would say, "is a window to the unseen." Seifu never fully understood these words until the day tragedy struck. It began innocently enough. A wealthy merchant's wife, obsessed with her fading beauty, sought Seifu's grandmother for a remedy. Despite warnings about vanity and greed, the woman demanded a potion that would restore her youthful glow. Against her better judgment, Seifu's grandmother prepared a brew and instructed the woman to apply it without looking in a mirror. But temptation proved too great. Ignoring the warning, the woman peered into her gilded mirror as she applied the potion. What happened next became a tale of horror whispered throughout the city. The mirror cracked, and from its fractured surface emerged a shadowy force that twisted and warped the woman's beauty into a grotesque reflection of her inner desires. Terrified, the townspeople blamed Seifu's grandmother, accusing her of witchcraft. They stormed her home, torches blazing, and drove her and young Seifu out into the wilderness. Years passed, but the memory lingered like a scar upon Seifu's heart. Her grandmother's words about the dangers of mirrors echoed in her mind. When her grandmother finally passed, Seifu vowed never to allow mirrors near her craft. She would protect her customers from both vanity and the unseen forces that still haunted her dreams. Though the village saw only a gifted stylist, Seifu carried within her the weight of that promise and the pain of her past. Each twist and braid she crafted was not only a work of art, but a silent act of protection, shielding her customers from a danger they could not see. Yet, as the seasons turned, Seifu often found herself wondering if the protection she offered came at a cost. For who would protect her from the shadows that still lingered in her mind? One crisp morning, when the scent of dew still clung to the air, a stranger entered the village square. He was a traveler named Nyoka, with eyes as sharp as a falcon's and a voice that carried the warmth of distant lands. His clothes were faded from journeying, but there was a kindness about him that drew people near. Nyoka had heard whispers of Seifu's salon from faraway merchants. Intrigued by the mystery and artistry surrounding her name, he decided to see for himself the place where beauty was crafted without mirrors. As he stepped into the salon, the door chime tinkled softly. Seifu looked up from her work, her gaze meeting his. There was an instant recognition, not of familiarity, but of understanding. Here was someone who carried stories on his back, as she carried secrets in her heart. "Welcome," Seifu greeted, her voice even and composed. "I have traveled many roads," Nyoka said, "and heard many tales, but none so intriguing as yours." Seifu smiled faintly. "The tales grow grander the farther they travel," Nyoka chuckled. "Perhaps, but every story has a seed of truth." In time, Nyoka became a frequent visitor to the salon, not just for the artistry of Seifu's craft, but for the quiet companionship that blossomed between them. He never pressed for her secrets, and she never offered them. Yet, in the unspoken moments, a bond formed, one built on mutual respect and shared silences. Nyoka's presence became a steadying force for Seifu. Where shadows once lingered heavily, his gentle humor and unwavering support began to weave threads of light. He spoke often of courage and healing, reminding Seifu that even the deepest wounds could mend. "You carry a great weight," Nyoka said one day as he watched her hands deftly braid a customer's hair. "But even burdens can be transformed into something beautiful." Seifu paused, his words resonating deeply. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to imagine a future where the past no longer held her captive. The peace that had settled over Seifu's life was soon disrupted. One late afternoon, a letter arrived, carried by a dusty messenger from the city of Umand. The wax seal bore the mark of the merchant's family, the same family that had once accused her grandmother of witchcraft. The letter was addressed to Seifu personally. Its contents were simple yet alarming: an invitation to return to the city and participate in a grand festival, celebrating artisans and their crafts. Her reputation as a master stylist had spread far beyond the village, and the city's elite now sought her talents. Nyoka watched her carefully as she read the letter, her expression unreadable. "Will you go?" he asked gently. Seifu folded the letter deliberately. "I left that place behind for a reason. Sometimes we must face our past to truly leave it behind," Nyoka said. "Not for them, but for ourselves." Days passed, and though Sefu tried to push the letter from her mind, the invitation lingered like an echo. Her dreams were restless, filled with images of cracked mirrors and shadowy figures. The village sensed her unease, though none dared to question it. One evening, as twilight cast long shadows over the salon, a young customer named Lena whispered, "Will you leave us, Miss Seifu?" Seifu's heart ached at the thought. "I will always be here for you," she assured the girl. Yet even as she spoke, she knew a decision loomed on the horizon, one she could no longer avoid. After much contemplation, Seifu resolved to journey back to Umande. Though uncertainty gripped her heart, the village gathered to bid her farewell, their faces marked by both pride and sorrow. Nyoka accompanied her to the outskirts of the village, his presence a quiet reassurance. "Remember," he said softly, "you are more than your past." The journey to Umande was long, the familiar landscape shifting from rolling hills to bustling streets filled with vibrant chaos. As Sefu entered the city, memories surged back with each step. The scents, the sounds, the echoes of voices long gone. Her arrival at the festival was met with awe. Artisans displayed their crafts, each vying for attention. But it was Seifu's salon that drew the largest crowd. Without mirrors, her work relied on trust, and trust became her signature. However, as her fame grew, whispers of her past resurfaced. Jealous competitors began to weave rumors of witchcraft, reviving old fears that had never truly died. The city's fascination teetered on the edge of suspicion. Despite the growing tension, Sefu continued her craft, determined to prove that beauty and healing transcended the need for reflection. But beneath her composed exterior, doubt gnawed at her resolve. Had she made a mistake in returning? The final test came on the eve of the festival's grand showcase. A wealthy noblewoman demanded a mirror to witness Sefu's artistry firsthand, a direct challenge to her principles, and a public spectacle that threatened to unravel everything she had built. The crowd waited breathlessly, the weight of expectation heavy in the air. Seifu's heart raced, but her hands remained steady. She met the noblewoman's gaze, determination sparking in her eyes. "Trust," she said firmly, "is the only reflection you need." As the crowd hushed in anticipation, the noblewoman's defiance simmered beneath her poised exterior. "How can I trust what I cannot see?" she demanded. Seifu took a deep breath, centering herself amidst the tension. "Beauty is not for the eyes alone," she said. "It is a harmony felt in the spirit." The noblewoman scoffed, her laughter sharp and brittle. "Words are wind. Show me proof." At that moment, the sun dipped low on the horizon, casting golden light through the windows. The salon glowed, and in that radiance, Seifu's customers, past and present, stood as living testaments to her craft. Their serene expressions and radiant confidence spoke louder than any mirror ever could. Nyoka, who had accompanied Seifu, stepped forward. "What you seek is fleeting," he told the noblewoman, "but what Seifu offers is lasting." The noblewoman hesitated, her gaze flickering between Seifu and the crowd. Slowly, doubt cracked the surface of her arrogance. "Perhaps," she murmured, "there is wisdom in trusting unseen beauty." In the silence that followed, Seifu knew a victory had been won, not over the noblewoman, but over the shadows that had clung to her past. The festival concluded with Seifu's artistry, hailed as the pinnacle of the showcase. The city's fears faded, replaced by admiration and respect. Yet it was not fame that comforted Seifu, but the knowledge that she had faced her past and emerged whole. As Seifu and Nyoka prepared to return to the village, the noblewoman approached, her demeanor softened. "Thank you for teaching me what no mirror ever could," she said quietly. Seifu inclined her head graciously. "The heart's reflection is the truest of all." Back in the village, life resumed its gentle rhythm. Seifu's salon thrived, and whispers of her journey became stories passed from one generation to the next. Stories of courage, trust, and the power of unseen beauty. Nyoka remained by her side, their bond deepening with each shared day. The shadows that once haunted Seifu faded, replaced by a light that grew from within. As Seifu wove intricate braids into her customer's hair, she carried with her a quiet wisdom. Her craft was no longer a shield against the past, but a celebration of transformation and healing. For in learning to trust herself, Seifu had discovered the greatest reflection of all, one that no mirror could capture.